the days, and everything's still possible. Our dreams are alive, we've got that fire inside. These are the days, these are the days, and everything's still possible.
I've got 6 corn varieties. I think 3 are early corn and then 3 take a little bit longer. So that'll be perfect. We'll get 2 harvests out of those at least. And I have, 4 types of pumpkins that we're going to do. And a birdhouse gourd. I thought that might be fun just to see what would happen. And our favorite, patty pan squash. If you've never tried patty pan squash and you're starting a garden, or if you're at a farmer's market and you can find them, they look weird. They look like little UFOs, but they are delicious. They're so good. Okay, so the next step is to go outside and hopefully my kids don't fight the entire time and make me crazy. We will see. Jeff's working for, 3 days straight, and I don't really want to wait until he gets home to help me. Plus, he dug all of that up for me yesterday, so I'm just gonna do this on my own. Let's go, guys. Super windy. All my stuff's already blowing away. Okay, gotta go. It blew away?
It blew away, yeah.
Oh, man.
The book blew away.
Yeah, it's a windy day.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got?
A giant radish turned out this big.
Pull another one.
Smokes good.
Get another one.
Okay. Okie doke.
Holy cow.
Holy moly, guacamole. Guacamole. Let's get this one. Oh.
Cute. Pull somebody.
What?
Pull one out.
Okay. Hi, little girl. Where's the bug, Mom?
Pull it out.
Huh? And over the black.
Look, sister's showing you. Pull the next one.
Okay.
Pull it. Whoa! Is that cool?
Hi, little guy. Hi, little. Of course, Daddy might want to harvest. Chloe's radishes are so big. Yeah. I brought them now.
Hold it at the bottom right there.
Okay. Like the bottom of
Whoa! Good job!
Time to harvesting. Harvesting is my favorite day. I call it harvesting day.
That's pretty big radishes.
Oh, Mom, look.
Oh, that one wasn't ready. You got to pay attention to what's pulled out.
Picture.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
What a radish harvest. Was that
Radish
fun?
day.
Oh, okay. Leave those ones there. Oops. Okay, it's okay. Put them on the table.
Oh, good.
Those ones weren't ready. Don't pull any more, okay?
Mom, look, carrots.
And our carrots are going strong. This rain really got a lot of stuff going. Those are the peas. These got huge. All our squash.
Mom, can I pick some green onions of those?
Nope, we got enough for dinner. Lots of onions.
I'm going to go down the aisle.
Tomatoes look wonderful. No, don't walk down there. That's all flooded. I want to leave it alone.
And now water. My onions are starting to grow.
These looked kind of puny when I first put them out here, but they're starting to grow. You don't need to water it. It's raining for 3 days.
Wow.
Everything is perking up and
better.
looking great.
Look, wait.
Hold on. It's all looking really, really good. Splash!
One feather.
why do we have all these windows? Why did I just back a trailer up and do all of that for this, right? We're storing them until the fall, but this is gonna all turn into a vintage window greenhouse, which I'm super excited about. My best friend Ashley, her in-laws replaced all the windows of their historical home in Fort Worth, and I don't even know how it came up in conversation, and so they called them and they said, you can come and get them, but it's all or nothing. So we took them all, which is great. I'm really excited for this to be built, and hopefully, I'm gonna speak it into existence. This fall, the greenhouse will be built so that I can get ahead of next season with my seedlings. So last time we were out here, we planted quite a bit of things, but to be honest, me and the kids weren't feeling good that day, and we stopped about a third of the way through the work. So I have a lot of stuff to plant and get into the ground before it starts raining. That way I won't have to be out here every day, making sure they don't get dry. And just a little bit of maintenance and getting some things out of the greenhouse and into my raised beds too. Those are getting a little worse for wear. It's a little too hot in the greenhouse during the day. So I've got to get that stuff out before all my effort gets wasted. And we'll go through the garden. I'll show you guys how much everything has grown since the last time. This is one of my only empty beds that I have left. So I have some okra from the greenhouse that I'm going to stick in here, and maybe a couple peppers, it looks like. And we'll go ahead and get that planted up real quick and move on to the other spots. Okay, so I'm succession sowing potatoes because it is something we like to eat on a regular basis, and I don't want them to all go bad at the same time. So these are just organic grocery store potatoes that got left at the bottom of my little produce basket in the kitchen. And some of these have been in my windowsill, and these already have some foliage growing out of it. So these are going to be great to start. I'm just kind of experimenting. I've never done potatoes this year. So we have some in the grow bags, and we're gonna do some in the in-ground beds with the soil method and the straw method, and we're just gonna see what does better. So far I have seen zero difference between grocery store organic potatoes and actual seed potatoes. I can't tell the difference from these grow bags anymore. So I don't think it makes a huge difference, and it's way, way cheaper just to forget about your potatoes that you got from the grocery store. So. Most of that planted out. There's a little bit of room. I may just succession sow some of the things that we have already in there just so that we can prolong our harvest a little bit more. I'm not totally sure what I'm gonna do, but I figured I'd go through the garden, show you guys a little bit what's going on in here, some issues we have that have come up and how we are trying to fix them, and so that you can just see how much it's grown since the last time we were in here. This is our lettuce bed. In here, I've grew everything in this from seed except for this mint on the herb side. Everything else came from a single seed in my little greenhouse. We have a roly-poly pill bug, whatever you want to call them, issue going on right now. There's a lot of them, and so some of our lettuce has little holes in it from them chewing through it. But I've been reading about this, and what a lot of people do is they will get a shallow dish and bury it in the soil just a little bit so that the edge of the dish is level with your soil, and pour beer in it, who would have known, and it'll attract them and they'll go into it, and it's not going to hurt your garden. You're not going to be spraying actual foliage that you eat with any chemicals or anything like that. So I'm going to try that out this evening and see what happens in the morning, and I'll keep you guys updated on how well that works out. But I'm proud of these lettuces, especially since they came from tiny little seeds, and I did each of them by hand. But you can see kind of what we have going on here with the holes in my arugula. And what do we have? Butter lettuce is doing great. The Swiss chard a little bit. They're having a harder time getting used to being out here and not in the greenhouse. But overall, I am pretty happy with it. And you guys can see, look, there's one right there. Those pill bugs are all over the place eating all of our food. Over here we have more lettuces. I have kale, and then we have watermelons going up. I'm actually going to replace these 2 watermelon plants because we had a late freeze, and these 2, I'm pretty positive they got stunted because they were out in that. They have not grown at all in the 2 weeks since it froze like that. So I'm gonna replace them. That's why I planted so many watermelon seeds, in case something like that were to happen. We're gonna replace that so that they can trellis over, because I really don't want this to be an empty trellis this summer. It's one of my favorite things about our garden. So what else do we have? Our sunflowers have loved the rain. We haven't watered the garden We haven't watered out here in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Everything has just been thriving off of the rain and all of that nitrogen and all of it. I will need to fertilize, maybe do fish emulsion, because even though the rain does give us a lot of nitrogen, it does rinse out a lot of the nutrients that are in the soil. So we're going to supplement with that pretty soon. We have a couple of zucchinis, or actually these are squash in here. These are actually Dollar Tree seeds. I saw them and I just couldn't help myself, and so these ones all in the middle are Dollar Tree seeds. They're growing just as well as my other ones I spent way more money on. But in here we have a couple of females that are coming. We don't have any flowers opening yet, but out here we definitely don't have a pollinator problem like we did at our old house. I hardly ever saw any bees out here. I'm sure that once these flowers bud open, we'll have a ton of bees and butterflies and everything like that out here. I don't think it'll be an issue. So those are going. Our peas are going strong, and they'll be going up over the trellis. And we had to restart our beans. These are unfortunately one of the plants that got completely killed in the frost that we had, so we had to restart these. That's why they're kind of puny. And we have what else? This is more zucchini, and a fun fact about why there's so many in this bed is I planted them, and then we had some kind of animal come through and was digging a lot of holes in our bed, and I guess I got impatient and I assumed that the little squirrel or whatever it was had eaten my seeds, but they hadn't. So I went and replanted them, and then soon after everything popped back up. So I have a ton in here. I may have to like cull out a couple of the bigger plants to just let the smaller ones grow later in the season, but I don't know, I'm not in the business of killing plants right now. I like the way it looks full like this, so if I have to make it smaller later, I will do that. We just transplanted all the okra and some more pepper plants. They're kind of small, but again, these just are kind of struggling in the greenhouse and how fast it dries out in there. So I figured they'd probably do better out here, and we'll just see what happens. We did the potatoes. These are one of the things I thought I lost in the frost. A lot of the foliage that was sticking out did die, but it came back. Potatoes are pretty hardy, I guess, so they did okay. What do we have? Oh, down here, okay. We have watermelon here. These are 2 more watermelon plants. Again, I'm just experimenting a lot this year, seeing where things do better, if it does better, you know, trellising and in the raised bed, or if it'll do better in ground and, you know, being able to wander wherever it wants to go. We'll just see what happens. I have a blank spot here, and then down on the end, pretty much from here down are different varieties of corn. Some of them are early varieties, some will be ready in about a month, some will take about 2, and we just sowed some more, so we'll be able to have fresh corn throughout the summer. What else did we do today? We did those grocery store potatoes. We planted them in here, but I do have a little bit of real estate open here, and back there. On this side, we'll have our little pumpkin patch. All of our pumpkin seeds popped up. So these are all Cinderella pumpkins. We have some Jack B. Little pumpkins and a couple sugar pie pumpkins, so we can do our own pumpkin pie this year. And what was the other? Oh, just regular old jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. So we are hopefully, I've never done them before successfully. Hopefully we'll have a good little pumpkin patch out here. We can let our friends come and take some for them for their houses and for their porches on Halloween. And then we planted some of our favorite. We planted patty pan squash from here to here, and I'm not worried about being up to my neck in squash because we got into our first farmer's market ever. So the town that we live in never had a farmer's market, so we were planning on going back to Fort Worth to sell our eggs and things like that. But we just got news that there's going to be one here like 4 miles up the road, so we signed up for that with a quickness. We're gonna be selling eggs, and if I have any extra squash or a ton of tomatoes, or we're in a surplus for anything, I can just take them to the farmer's market and sell them there for fun. But I think that's all I've got for you guys. If you have any questions, just let me know and I will do my very best to answer them. And see you next time.